Good morning. Matthew chapter 21, verses 12 to 17 recount Jesus clearing the temple in Jerusalem. What is going on in this scene? Firstly, we're talking about an area of the temple called the Court of the Gentiles. The money changers that I mentioned in the passage in Matthew 21 were most likely occupying a specific corner of the Court of the Gentiles. Money changers is a reference to those who are in charge of the temple taxes and the purchasing of sacrificial animals. All these things had to be purchased with Jewish currency, therefore money had to be exchanged. Jesus opposes this practice, and he opposes it in the only space that Gentiles were allowed to worship God. We use the word clear to describe Jesus' actions in the temple. He clears the temple, but we can also use the word cleanse. We can say to cleanse. Jesus was cleansing the temple, reminiscent of kings before him, Hezekiah and Josiah, cleansing the temple before the celebration of Passover. Let's look at a few things Jesus was doing. Interestingly, this scene occurs in the Synoptic Gospels during the last week of Jesus' ministry, yet in John's Gospel it takes place in John chapter 2. The first few months of Jesus' ministry. Why this difference? I think there are two reasonable explanations for this. Perhaps there were two clearings, one at the start of the ministry of Christ and one at the end. Or there was one clearing that John, for theological purposes in writing his gospel, decides to put at the beginning of his own gospel to show that in Jesus, God's judgment was in operation. Whatever view you take, what is clear is that Jesus, as the Son of God, is outraged at what the temple had become. A place that was built with the purpose of glorifying God was now being used to line the pockets of merchants and priests. Unfairly, too. Most commentators suggest that the selling of sacrificial animals was 20 times more expensive within the temple itself than outside. We've got a problem there, haven't we? But we know this passage purely as an outburst from Jesus, but there is so much more here. He doesn't drive out the thieves and leave. I don't know if you noticed that. He drives them out and then he continues the cleansing, the purifying, the transformative work of God in the temple. The blind and the lame come to him and he heals them. Jesus displays God's great compassion and mercy on those who were blocked from coming to the temple because of the sickness that gripped them. It's in this passage that we see that God's house was built for firstly glorifying God. First and foremost, always essential. It was made to glorify God, but it was also to be a place of restoration, where all people came to restore their relationship with God. And it is in this scene that we see both of these pictures. I pray that our churches would be places of worship that give God all the glory and that bring restoration to all those who need it. God bless you.